Pakistan-occupied Baluchistan is 45% of Pakistan's landmass and is the richest with its minerals and natural resources and geographic location. But its people are the poorest in all spheres of life, deprived enough to even get basic necessities of life. One day at the sunrise of the 28th of May 1998 brought more difficulties in their awful lives. After the 5 atomic nuclear tests at Chari, the already miserable living condition of the people of Baluchistan has changed to worse after Pakistan tested its nuclear bomb on Baloch soil. Pakistan portrays these tests as its strength as a superpower. Ironically, these tests reduced Baluchistan to a nuclear wasteland.
Pakistan tested its nuclear weapons in 1998 in the Chagi area of Baluchistan. This has had devastating impact on the local environment there, and has also had a wider impact on the health of the people there, with a larger incidence of birth defects and cancer.
Baloch frontrunners were totally unaware of all those in the parliament at the time, were not consulted about Pakistan's secret plan to carry out nuclear tests in occupied Baluchistan. Mr. Hariba Mari was the first minister of Baluchistan Principal Assembly at the time, who opposed this vicious action of Pakistan, and issued a statement a few days before the tests to record his strong protest.
They did not tell the Baluchistan parliament and the Baloch people that they are going to test it in Baluchistan. First of all, the Baloch do not trust the Punjabis, and the Punjabis, as they think they are the masters of Baluchistan, they do not trust the Baloch people. So they did not ask the legislatures of Baluchistan.
Mr. Abdul Qadir Khan, soon after the tests, became a national hero of Pakistan. Is it questionable whether he deserved the appreciation he received? Or is there any hidden truth? For this we have contacted one of Mr. A.Q. Khan's old colleagues, who was working with him back in the 1970s in FDO, Urenco, where A.Q. Khan stole the blueprints of the ultra-centrifuge uranium enrichment.
Abdul al in dienst en ik ben toen in 1973 kwam ik op het kantoor te zitten tegenover Abdul Khan, en daar hebben we zeg maar een jaar of 2 heb ik tegenover hem gezeten. En in die ja, dat was ik werd op een gegeven moment bevriend met hem, dus we kwamen al bij elkaar thuis altijd.
One day Mr. Veerman received a suspicious message from Mr. A.Q. Khan, who invited him to visit Pakistan.
En toen ging er een lampje branden. Ik denk, dat klopt niet. Een collega die een reisje van 10.000 gulden betaalt, dat klopt helemaal niks van. En toen ik kwam vaak bij hem thuis, en daar lagen alle geheime tekeningen. En toen later kwam ik erachter dat zijn vrouw Henny ook heel veel rapporten voor Pakistan schreef, met betrekking tot de ultracentrifuge. Ja, en dat mag ook niet, want de ultracentrifuge was een zeer geheim project in Nederland. En toen, ja, ik ben gescreend en toen ben ik dat gaan melden bij de overheid.
Qadir Khan was just an individual who got the technology out of Europe, either stealing it from there or buying it from some other crook scientists. We don't know. The West knows much better, and the West is hiding the fact.
Indeed, Mr. Mari's concern was notable, West's knowledge about A.Q. Khan's suspicious activities, as Mr. Veerman explains.
Meneer Khan die heeft in Nederland gespioneerd. Hij is gevlucht, maar het Nederlandse bedrijfsleven is hem achteraan gegaan. Want er was heel veel geld te verdienen. En dat heeft, en dat is een zwaar strafbaar feit wat ze hier gedaan hebben.
Pakistani military tactically introduced its stolen bomb as an Islamic bomb to get strong support from the Muslim world. But an unstable country having a weapon of mass destruction is an open threat for the world peace.
Pakistan is een beetje een instabiel land. Hè, er is ook een machtsverhouding tussen de als ik het zo zeggen mag, de islam en het Westen. Want de islam heeft nu ook een atoombom en dat geeft heel veel wrijving. Geeft dat.
There's nothing like Islamic bomb, Christian bomb, or atheist bomb. This is just rhetoric. This is to fool the people of Punjab and fool some other Muslims.
The sense of foreboding was revealed when A.Q. Khan went back to Pakistan and sold the stolen technology to other rogue states.
We know, after he produced these weapons for the Pakistani state, that he also set up a network, a criminal network throughout the world to sell and develop this technology further afield for personal profit and for political purposes.
The investigation has established that many of the reported activities did occur and that these were inevitably initiated at my behest. In my interviews with the concerned government officials, I was confronted with the evidence and the findings, and I have voluntarily admitted that much of it is true and accurate.
We know, for example, that in the late 80s he passed plans for the Pak-1 to the Iranians. We also know that he attempted to sell weapons technology to the North Koreans. And we also know that he had proposals on the table to sell a complete turnkey nuclear weapons facility to the Libyan regime under Colonel Muammar al-Gaddafi.
Pakistani state is in denial about Mr. A.Q. Khan's activities to sell the ultra-centrifuge nuclear technology, but actually there was something else.
Now, what we don't know about Abdul Qadir Khan's network is the full extent of it and the full range of transactions, what technologies were involved, and with whom. And we may never know the answer to that question. And that is a nuclear genie which is out there in the world now, and we will never be able to get it back into the bottle.
Many scientists and people from other nationalities were involved in the underground network. Pakistan has taken the strongest action and has put the network out of business. Dr. A.Q. Khan, who is regarded by a large section of the Pakistanis as a national hero for bringing strategic parity in South Asia, has been treated very harshly.
It is also absolutely unthinkable that A.Q. Khan would have been able to operate this criminal clandestine network exporting weapons of mass destruction technology without any knowledge of the Pakistani state. Indeed, he would probably have required a degree of enablement from certain figures within the Pakistani state itself. And we do know that inter-services intelligence, the ISI, Pakistan's intelligence agency, actually had proposed to Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif a plan to sell nuclear technology in order to finance ISI operations in Afghanistan and in Kashmir.
Generals or the military, if they're in control of these weapons, it doesn't mean nothing. These are the people who have exported the technology to all these rogue states. So these are the people who are going to sell it. And those generals, after their retirement, they go to European country, have a lavish lifestyle.
A.Q. Khan released a letter which he claimed came from a North Korean official, which named General Jahangir Karamat, who was at the time the head of the Pakistani Armed Forces, and named him as having received a $3 million bribe in return for facilitating transactions with A.Q. Khan.
They not only made it, they produced it, and they sold the technology for billions of dollars. So it was a source of revenue. At the same time, they were taking billions of dollars from America as well to counter the Mujahideens, first the communists, then the Mujahideens or Talibans. So they have found multiple sources of revenue for themselves. And this nuclear bomb is one of those sources.
Since the nuclear tests conducted on Baloch soil, the people of Baluchistan have been demanding for Pakistan's disarmament. But will Pakistan abandon weapons of mass destruction?
In terms of nuclear disarmament, I don't envisage any scenario unfolding in which the global community could forcibly disarm Pakistan of its nuclear weapons, either militarily or diplomatically, or indeed economically. I also don't envisage any scenario unfolding in which Pakistan willingly gives up its own nuclear weapons, given that its arch-rival India is on its border and is also nuclear armed. Tactical nuclear weapons in particular play a huge role in Pakistan's self-defense doctrine.
Pakistani generals, they think nuclear bombs are a guarantee to their survival. But Soviet Union had more than 10,000 intercontinental ballistic missiles. That did not help them. Your survival depends on your economy. The same way Soviet Union collapsed, Pakistan is going to collapse.
The question that needs to be answered is how can the Baloch nation get justice under the shadow of the stolen bomb?
Baluch people quite understandably want to seek justice for what the Pakistani government has inflicted upon them, and certainly without any consultation with them. Unfortunately, there aren't well-established international mechanisms for doing this. However, I think it's increasingly important that the Baluch put themselves on the radar of Western states. They are in an area that is going to be of increasing strategic importance, especially as China continues its sort of colonization project through the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor and Belt and Road projects. If America and the West are seeking to challenge or balance China's activities in this way, then the Baluch are an ideal partner in this endeavor, and that should enable the Baluch to make reasonable demands for justice, for compensation, and for recognition of what has happened to them.
If we want South Asia free of nuclear bombs, the only solution to that is having independent Baluchistan, Pashtunistan, and Sindh. There's no other way the Punjabis are going to let go of these bombs, because it guarantees them billions of dollars and it's a source of revenue to them. And if the world wants to have peace in this region, India wants to have peace, United States wants to have peace, then they have to help these nations to get rid of Pakistani occupation of Baluchistan, Sindh, and Pashtunistan. Otherwise, the consequences are going to be devastating for the whole region, and repercussions are going to be felt in America as well.